This is a WL Caprice. This is the top of the line luxury version, sort of the Commodore, the long wheelbase version, back in 2005. And these are one of the cars that have changed my mind the most since I started doing all these videos, because I never really experienced the Statesman Caprice, but I have really found a new appreciation for them. If you haven't driven one, not only are they enormous, especially the back seats, like it's genuinely luxurious and comfortable back there, but they have every option that you would need from a daily driver today, let alone 20 years ago. They are so comfy. They have plenty of V8 grunt. A lot of them are V8s like this one, which really I think is important for the Statesman Caprice experience. They really give you this energy of being relaxed and lazy, and I love that. So there were two levels of this car, the Statesman and Caprice. I have featured a Statesman on the channel before, and this is the Caprice. So this is the model above, and it has a lot of optional extras. But this car back in the day was not cheap at all. But this car, even today, even 20 years later, still feels premium, expensive, and it looks and goes fantastic. I really love the styling, and this one is a Holden by design one. So one thing that's cool about this is a lot of the WHs and a lot of the WKs before this all had 16s. You could get 17s on some of the WKs, but these Caprices always came with 17s, and I just think they look great. They really suit the car, and I really like it. So while these cars aren't particularly rare, finding good ones like these that haven't been buggered with, that's getting harder and harder to find, especially the V6s. And you might be thinking, well, why? Well, that's because the V6s, a lot of people raid those cars for all their interior parts, the leather, the dash. And when a Caprice comes up on the market and it's a bit rough with an LS1, the vast majority of the time, vast majority, those cars are just going to get parted out for their running gear. So to find one that's good like this, again, actually pretty hard to find. And because of that, good ones like this actually do command quite a good price, because again, you really don't find them, and they're a great driving V8 daily driver. They're so comfortable, they're pretty good on fuel, the boot's enormous, and it's really represents a different era of cars. I mean, this is so different than really anything you can buy today. I'm sure it's no surprise to anyone, but the boots in these cars are absolutely enormous. What this little computer is here, that is the navigation computer. So back in the day when they used to update the GPS, they just used to slide new discs with all the information. You can tell this one's never been used because the sticker hasn't been broken. But other than that, the boot in this car is very, very clean. And again, it's absolutely enormous. It just goes with the whole thing of this car, just being really focused on luxury and comfort. This is the last series that ever had the LS1, and these cars are so capable because of that. And I really do think that having a V8 is part of the Statesman Caprice experience. And that really is true, I think, all the way back to the Kingswoods and all the way ahead of this car as well, because while these cars are focused on luxury, it is great to have a little bit of grunt when you need it. This car's not for racing between the lights, but when you need to overtake someone, or if you have a full car load, or a lot of these cars are stretched into limousines and stuff, that's definitely when you want to have an 8. So I really do think that having an 8 is really part of the experience. So the first thing that I want to talk about here is just how comfortable it is in here. I mean, not only that, but look how much space is in the back. These cars are huge back here, and it doesn't look like it from outside, but it really is enormous. This car has a really awesome feature of being able to watch DVDs on the back of the headrest. So we have up here in the roof, we have all these controls. So from the back here, I can turn on the heater, I can control the whole climate system, but also more importantly, I can put on some movies. So what we're gonna do is put this Fast and Furious disc in our CD drive, which is just between the seats here. And we're gonna press our mode on the dash. Now, honestly, I have not done this before, so we're gonna do it in real time, DVD. Okay, and I can see the screens. Look at that. That is so cool. Now, obviously I can't show you guys the movie in full, but how cool is this? It's playing there and on that screen as well. And again, we can control the volume by pushing it up or down. Again, this is a 20-year-old car. This would have been a killer feature back in the day. How cool is that? I'm pretty spoiled in the back here because I've got an armrest on both sides, and I even have a little cup holder tray that I can have my drink and watch my movie. I mean, it's really special back here. It really is very, very cool. So in the Caprice, obviously this is a really comfortable place to be, and there are actually quite a few differences in this than there would be on even a VY Calais. So if we have a look around, there is a lot of black piano plastic. Really suits the car, and it also has these really cool cup holders. A lot of the Calais and SSs and stuff had it as well, and that is thanks to GM's partnership with Saab in the early 2000s. Really, really cool kind of thing. Our rear vision mirror up here is not a standard rear vision mirror. It is a little bit different. So you'll notice there's an on button, and there's also 3 other subsequent buttons. But the 2 ones that are of note is there is a Holden assist button in the center. My understanding is when you press that, it would contact, sort of roadside assistance if you got a flat tire or whatever, something like that. And there's also a button next to it that would contact emergency services. So if there was an accident or whatever, because remember, this was the day before the smartphone. I mean, a lot of people would have had mobile phones, but just a totally different, totally unique thing. And that would have been quite the feature back in the day. The other thing that's really of note in here is this car was optioned with a GPS. And there is a little remote here, which you can control it by. And again, really, really cool. And you have to remember, this was before the days of the smartphone. This was the days of the Navman. A lot of people didn't have, well, no one had smartphones. So for a car to have inbuilt GPS like this, especially the humble Holden, is pretty cool. Fortunately, it doesn't work anymore. It is outdated. But remember, 20 years ago, I'm sure it worked for quite a while. And this car really has the best of everything to offer. I mean, everything that you touch is leather or sort of that chromy plastic. I really do like these metal door handles, which are in some of my cars as well. But it's a really, really nice place to be. This car also has a sunroof, a factory sunroof, and it also has a sunglasses holder. It's got everything. It really does have everything under the sun. It also has these really cool Caprice scuff plates. I really like those. Sort of harps back to some of the earlier Kingswoods and stuff like that. I really like those. The door cards also have this black plastic trim. A lot of that isn't available in the normal Commodores. Also sort of like this underdash suede that sort of wraps around the car. It really does feel premium, and it smells really nice and clean in here, and it's held up extremely well. All right, well, here we are in the Caprice, and believe it or not, we're going 80 k's an hour, and this thing it's like a couch. And I mean that in the best way possible. It's so comfortable and relaxing. It's almost making me want one driving this, because I actually had a WH Caprice last week, and that I really drove like this car, even though that car had quite a few less Ks than this one. This car is maintained very well, so it really doesn't feel like it's done any Ks, let alone 200. So yeah, I just driving this, the comfort of this is very similar to a new car, and just that with the reliability of the LS1 and just the power of the 8 when you need it, 220 kilowatts. I mean, I really think that this car just perfectly shows how much the car industry has changed, because these cars sold really well, and you can see why, because they're big, they've got plenty of power when you need them, and they're comfortable. And this kind of car is just gone. I mean, today's equivalent of this would have, 4-cylinder turbo or whatever, but I feel like a lot of the people that would buy these back then probably wouldn't be interested in today's equivalent. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time with this car, and it's just cool seeing, the progression of the Statesman Caprice. So this one, especially because it's the last of the LS1s, it's actually the 250 kilowatts, not the 220 that I had in that WH a couple of weeks ago. It really goes all right. Again, that's not what this car is about, but the power's there when you need it, and it's a really nice car. I really have enjoyed my time with it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and me sort of showing off this car. Again, I have really grown in appreciation for the Statesman Caprice, and I'm stoked to be able to have my hands on a good one like this and share it with you guys. These are sort of becoming increasingly rare. A lot of the good ones like this are being stored and kept away, and they're starting to be pulled off the roads a little bit now because of their age. So it's really cool to see one like this in such good condition. And if you guys would like your car on the channel, please feel free to get in touch. absolutely love doing this, and I really thank you guys for watching these videos and supporting me and helping me to do this. So thank you very much. So if these are your kind of cars, please follow along, subscribe, and thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it.